Hello, my name is Maher, and music is pretty much my life. This is me, and this is also me. And I want to tell you about how music got me from here all the way to here. I credit my early love of music to my parents. They always played us songs in the car and on road trips. They sang us lullabies when we were little. My dad even picked us up and made us dance on the ceiling. My dad is both a musician and an absolute music lover. The playlists that he made for us and played in the car absolutely formed my taste in music. One of my all-time favorite songs that he introduced to me is Painting by Chagall by the Weebies. We would always sing it in the car, and I remember being amazed when he would come in on the harmony. This was the first song that I ever learned how to play on the guitar. Maybe because it's only 4 chords, but also because it's one of my absolute favorites. To me, this song represents everything that my parents did for me musically growing up, introducing my love of music and allowing me to truly express it. Though I have always been surrounded by music, where I truly began to understand and fall in love with it was at camps. Camps is a Christian summer camp that my family attends every year. My parents even met through the organization. Though the camp is only for high schoolers, I always attended as a child as what we would call a staff kid, running around with no responsibilities, but I always paid attention when the music started. My dad started and runs the band, and the music there is absolutely phenomenal. There are so many songs from camps to choose from, but we once sung this together at a campfire, and it's always been a favorite of my family's. So here's A Life That's Good.
Two arms around me, heaven to ground me, and a family that always calls me home. 4 years to get there, enough love to share, and a sweet, sweet, sweet song. At the end of the day, Lord, I pray that's good.
I truly fell in love with classical music while watching The Nutcracker as a young child. My great-aunt Sally used to take my little sisters and I to see The Nutcracker in the Boston Opera House almost every year when we were little. I learned that you don't need words to convey meaning through music, that it is strong enough on its own to be so powerful and meaningful, even without any dialogue at all. I loved the dancing and the costumes and the energy in the theater, but I will never forget the music from The Nutcracker. I listen to it all the time, and it takes me back to being a little kid, excited, sitting in a seat, just waiting to hear those gorgeous tunes. In case you didn't know, I am a choir kid. Choir is absolutely the center of my life, and I always want to be doing choirs. But honestly, when I was younger, I didn't recognize my love for it. In 6th grade, I didn't join choir. My two closest friends did, though, and they would not stop talking about it, nor would they stop bugging me to join choir. 2 weeks into the year, I decided to give in and join choir just for one rehearsal to see what it was like. And that was the best decision of my entire life. I absolutely adored the teacher. I loved the environment and the music, everything that it does for you. It builds community, it builds awareness of self. It's truly powerful. I was blessed with truly amazing choral teachers at every grade level. And when I was in 7th grade, we began Choral Fest, a concert in the spring that celebrated every choir in our town. 5th graders through 12th graders, we all sang. And at the end, we would all sing together. We sang the song, Let the River Run. I don't know why we picked it, but it has become one of my absolute favorites. It is a symbol of togetherness for me, which is one of the key things that I learned through choir. I built my voice in these choirs. I built my soul in these choirs. Truly, my music education was the center of everything for me growing up. No matter what was going on in my day, I knew that I could come to choir and it would be okay. And there was an hour where I didn't have to think about anything else. And I could just sing, and I could talk to the people around me, and I could be me. And I am so grateful. I'm sure it is no surprise to you that I am also a theater kid, and a massive Hamilton fan at that. I know we all had our Hamilton phases, but I think mine was particularly embarrassing. I dressed up as Hamilton for Halloween one year. I had a sleepover party with my friends 3 years in a row we called Ham Fam. Seen here, we directed our very own version of the Schuyler Sisters. Now my story with theater is surprisingly similar to my story with choir. My two friends, seen here as Peggy and Aaron Burr, convinced me to join theater in middle school. As a matter of fact, they convinced me the day of auditions for the musical. I didn't have a phone at the time, so I had to borrow someone else's phone, call home, and tell my parents that I would be home. I wasn't really sure when auditions would end. But my parents were incredibly supportive and allowed me to audition, even though it was very last minute. I continued with theater throughout all of middle and high school, and at the beginning of my senior year, I was able to write and direct my own one-act play with the incredible help of my theater teacher. Later that year, I also participated in our musical, The Sound of Music. I played a nun as well as the Baroness Elsa. Here's a clip of me singing my least favorite song that I had to do. It was incredibly difficult for me. The notes were high, it was challenging to do while doing the choreography, but all of my directors were absolutely incredible and supported me all the way through it. And now you're all caught up with my musical story. Thank you so much for listening, and I can't wait to show you what I do next.